Hey, you don't have a girlfriend.
What? That's not what I was saying.
You said
I
something.
have a girlfriend pillow.
I was gonna get
Really?
Yeah.
I have side chicks.
Nah, I left my side.
Shouldn't have
chicks
to
on.
lean so much. I just turned the gain up.
Oh, thank
Okay,
God.
good.
Me and him were close,
Yes.
but like not as close as I
No,
want.
you guys should be fine. I can hear you guys. I can hear you guys fine.
So,
Perfect.
hey, motherfuckers.
So yeah, if you haven't noticed, we have a Marlon Morgan with us. What's going on, Marlon?
Everything's going good.
Wait, real quick. Why are we introducing him like people know him?
Oh yeah. good point. So
He's
yeah,
so used to me.
this is Marlon. He is he's the resident video game expert, among other things. He's a huge mixed martial arts fan. We used to do a radio show together, a mixed martial arts radio show.
Yes,
it was kind of like the first incantation of what we kind of got going on now. So it's cool, man.
Here, hang out with you guys, and talk some craziness that's going on in the mixed martial arts world. So thank you for having me, guys. Both of
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
Well,
This is my first time working with you.
This is your first time working with me.
It's crazy.
Where can everybody find you on social media?
Oh man, you can find me on Twitter. I'm mostly on Twitter, kind of trolling people back and forth about video games. You can check me at Marley it's Marley Move for the win. So it's Marley Move FTW. You can find me there. And if not, you can also find me on Facebook. My full name, Marlon Ashley Morgan. My Facebook was hacked the other day, but
Oh yeah, you fuck.
You got hacked too?
that was interesting.
My phone is blowing the fuck up while I'm trying to sleep because night. I'm like, gonna be here today, so I can tell him, "Fuck you" to your face. Stop
what?
watching.
Well, it wasn't
so
his
porn.
fault.
First of all, I was partying, right? I had no idea what was going on. I was on Saturday. There was a convention going on in Rosemont, and it's an anime convention. So, of course, you know.
I'm surprised my daughter wasn't there. She's fucking huge anime fan.
But yeah, man, it was pretty wild, man. Afterwards, I had to go to work, and then went back home, and then went into the gym, and then I didn't sleep for like a good couple days. I actually just slept yesterday, just because it was one of my days off.
I'm too old for that. Wait till you guys get older, man. I'm telling you. I went to a concert on Saturday night, and I slept, right? I went to a concert, got home about midnight, played Fortnite for a couple hours, went to bed about 2, and I needed a fucking day to recover. I used to be able to stay up 3 or 4 days in a row. I'm telling you, getting old sucks, guys. I want to talk to you about that real quick, Marlon, before we get into the Did You See That Shit Mixed Martial Arts podcast. Fortnite. I downloaded it for free from my son a while back.
Okay.
I just started getting into this game about a little over a week ago.
Half-assed, by the way.
I can't.
This
I can't
is
help it.
normal. He can't just get some. It's like, hey, you should probably get a power bank to charge your phone on the go. He's like, okay, I'll get one. Now he spent $400 on one power bank. $300 that can now power my entire life. It's amazing that he has it, but I'm just saying, this is how Strauss is.
If you're gonna get something, I mean, I was always taught you get what you.
Exactly what it is. But
The
when it comes
skins are
to
so cool in Fortnite.
man, I'm a little surprised that you got into Fortnite and sort of bought into that craze, because of course that game is everywhere. You know, everyone's playing it.
It's everywhere.
You know, I know people's mothers that are playing it right now.
Do you play it?
Oh, of course I play it. I've been playing it since the beginning,
What
before
platform?
there was even a battle royale. I play it on both PC and Xbox.
Okay, let me ask you. So, what is the battle royale? Obviously, is the free to play. Right. What is the regular mode? Because my son wanted to get that for his birthday.
Okay, that is it's called Save the World. Basically, it's a horde mode. Like if you're playing like zombies or anything like that, it's pretty much like that, but in Fortnite form, where you're able to like build your own fort. For me, for example, me and my buddies, we have like freaking huge pyramids and castles and stuff that we can defend.
You could play the story mode co-op?
Yes, with friends. You can't do a split screen, unfortunately.
No,
with that kind of sucks. But definitely you could play it with multiple people.
Is it worth the $40?
If you have friends to play with, yes.
Okay.
If you don't have friends to play with, then I just recommend just stick to the Battle Royale. And even though you're spending an X amount of cash on there, man,
I can't help it.
This is the reason why they just announced yesterday that they're doing a esports league for it. And already the price pool for the entire year, for the rest of this year, is $100 million.
My goal is to get
What
decent at
the
that game.
hell?
I've got, I've been playing for about a week. I'm at level 33.
Nice.
So my goal is to, this is going to sound ridiculous, but I stopped. I used to be bad into certain video games, right? Bad. And I really stopped because I was focusing on other things in my life, mainly the MMA stuff, but I can definitely get down with the best of them. So I've been trying to put about 5 hours a day on Fortnite in.
What?
Oh, yeah.
How do you have this? Where is this time?
Well, between, let's say midnight and 3 in the morning, that gives me 3 straight hours right there.
Yeah.
And then I'll find 2 throughout the day somewhere.
I'm so
In between writing, in between editing, I'll find a couple. I'll find an hour here, hour there. So I get about 5 hours in a day, but I'm trying. Listen, the only way to get better at something is by doing it, especially with video games. It's muscle
Very
memory,
true.
it's
Very
repetitive,
true.
it's doing it. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I found out with this game in particular, if you play during the day, you have a lesser quality of opponent than you do at night. So if you want to try to get better, the daytime is the time to play because you got the serious motherfuckers that tend to get home and play in the evening time.
I'm slightly different just because I'm so used to jumping in the middle of any fire when it comes to video games.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately jump into the competition. I love playing at night.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I live for going against competition. So
Yeah, well, I do now too. But when I was starting to when I first
Yeah.
saw my son play the game, I was like overwhelmed. I was like, "What's going on?" Like we were who's building? And then as I started to play it, you get killed so quickly, you know. But then now they have the one mode that I really like, the 50 versus 50.
yeah, that's so much fun.
Are they going to keep that because it says it's just a limited time mode?
It kind of goes back and forth. Like it'll be gone for like a few weeks and then it'll come
I
back
hope
because
they
of
don't
popular demand.
I hope they don't take that one away.
It kind of goes back and forth. I see why they do it, just to have like certain events so then the game doesn't feel too bland.
Well, they took the Thanos away. They
Yeah.
took the solo showdown away.
Yeah.
But
Those are going to eventually come back. Like you see the Thanos event coming back when the Infinity War movie hits DVD. Like I can definitely see that happening.
I just think they should keep the 50 versus 50 because that's so fucking fun.
Oh yeah.
That's where it's at. I mean, the solo one's fun, the duo's fun, but I don't know. There's something about that 50 versus 50 where
Squad life.
everybody's fucking just crazy. You hear gunfire. I don't know. Let's get into MMA. It's a Fortnite talk. We are the guys.
God.
We are the guys from the MMA Mixed Martial Arts. Did you see that shit podcast? I'm Mike Strauss, aka Strauss21. That's Taje Mahal. Follow us on Twitter. I am at Strauss21, aka Strauss21. He is at Apollo Team Mahal.
Yeah, motherfuckers, find me on there.
The podcast is available on all the social media platforms, or I'm sorry, all the platforms you listen to your podcast: Twitter, Google Play, iTunes, Google Play Music,
And on YouTube. Also,
right
like
here.
and subscribe, motherfuckers.
Yeah, do that. That helps. Every little bit
Or I'll
helps.
find you.
And make sure you hit that little bell too on YouTube.
Yeah, so that
everything.
people know.
Fucking everything.
Just do everything.
And then, so let's get into it. This is our live stream. This is not the same as our podcast. You could find that. We're going to be releasing episode 26 probably in the next day, but UFC Chile happened last weekend. I don't want to really run down the whole card. All in all, it was a decent night of fights, guys. Usman defeats Damian Maia. At the end, he kind of gets on the mic and says, "Hey, Tyron, who did it better?" I think Tyron did it better. What do you guys think?
You're fighting Damian Maia. There's no doing it better. It's just
If
don't
you
get
wanna
taken
win,
down.
there's one way to
Just
do
don't
it.
get fucking taken down
Right.
and hit him a couple times. Listen, everybody's had their worst performance against Damian Maia. Anderson Silva, horrible performance against Damian Maia. Carlos Condit didn't win, had a horrible. Tyrod, fucking
Colby
Kobe
Covington.
Covington. Damian Maia is not a good indicator for who is actually good.
That's true, yeah.
It's can you game plan? Can you not get taken down? And if you can stop all those fucking things, you'll win by decision. And then you'll be sitting on mic asking like, he's a top ranked guy. And I'm going to go sit there and go, yeah, but he's also a one trick pony. Damian Maia is amazing. I love the guy. I think it would be hilarious to see him with the title. But
Damian Maia is on a 3-fight losing streak. We
But-
just mentioned the 3 guys. Usman, Woodley,
it's
and
matchups with
Covington.
Damian Maia. That's what it is.
Well, that's the thing. The blueprint is that's how to beat him. Stop his defenses and be able to have a competent enough jiu-jitsu defense not to get choked out and get the fight back to the feet. And you could beat this guy. And I agree with you. I don't think he's a very good indicator of where you are in the division. But I definitely think Tyron did it better. Still think Usman's a little bit, but he thinks he's better than he really is. We'll see what's
I
next for
think
them.
he's he's an up-and-comer. He's not there yet.
I mean, up-and-comer. The motherfucker's like 30 years old. You know?
Yeah, but in MMA years, is he that old?
Fuck the MMA years. You know?
That means something. That
It really does mean something, man.
But no, it really
that means he's
doesn't.
right in the
If
middle.
you're 30 years old, you're 30 years old.
Well, then you have...
You're not going to tell me there's a difference between a 30-year-old who's been punched in the head for 5 years or not. Listen, you're 30 or 30. Your body is going to Your body is going to give out on you when you get that age, regardless. Regardless, if you get punched in the head a few more times, it may hurry up. It may know that. Mother Nature, age is 100% victorious. So when you get 37, your body's 37, regardless whether
also
or not
genetics.
you have less mileage.
There's also genetics.
That's true.
That plays a huge because there's 37-year-olds that don't look like fucking Yoel Romero.
This is for sure.
So I'm saying it does matter a little bit of when you get into the sport because you have a John Fitch, who I think physically he got into the sport. He even said he got into the sport.
Depends on how you take care of yourself.
Yeah,
you know, I think that's first and foremost.
There's a lot that goes into it. I think Usman in MMA years is young.
He's 30.
He's wrestled quite a bit. I think in the next 3 years we'll really see where he's at.
All right. Also on that card, Andrea A.K. Lee made her debut. That was pretty decently impressive. And then that Dominic Reyes, he knocked out Cannonier. That kid's something special. Watch for Dominic Reyes at 205 pounds.
I think he's the next wave, man. He is the next wave.
Yeah, what do you say, man?
Oh, no, I'm over here thinking because I haven't even seen the entire card, and I'm trying to remember.
Dominic Reyes is the 205-pounder who did that
whooped
crazy
on
thing.
Cannonier the first round in the middle of
Didn't
nowhere.
even really finish it. Like, the ref stepped in, and he just turned around and was like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, it was good. And then let's quickly, there's 2 cards going on this weekend. Bellator 200 is going on, which is crazy that in the States, we're not going to have that live. It's going to be brought to us on tape delay.
I'm going to know what happened before I watch it.
Yeah, which I don't know. Bellator 200 should feel special. It should be bigger. I don't know, whatever. That's going on. And then on Sunday, UFC Liverpool, we're going to give you the picks for both main card fights. Let's start with Bellator 200, though. Of course, the news breaking yesterday. Mirko Krokop is out of the main event against Roy Nelson. Kind of a bummer.
What was the reason again?
It's undisclosed. No, they don't know yet.
Really?
They know, but they're not telling us. So.
Yeah. Wow. That's kind of what I want to know. It's like, is it an injury? Is it just...
Well, it's obviously an injury. It's an injury.
Yeah.
He's pulled out because we don't know what the injury is, but he's injured.
Very unfortunate.
It is. It's a bummer. So the new main event, this is the silver lining because I believe this should have been the main event to begin with. Rafael Carvalho versus Gegard Mousasi. Carvalho defending his title, his middleweight title. I think Carvalho wins. I think this will be his coming out party. I don't think... Let me preface this. I'm a big Gegard Mousasi fan. Always have been. And I think he's very good. I think he beats 10 out of 10 guys on the street that think they're tough. I think he beats most of the guys in Bellator and the UFC. But when he gets to the real upper echelon of guys, I don't think he beats them because Gegard Mousasi has never evolved his takedown defense. He's never worked on that. He's an elite striker. He's up here. He's elite. But his takedown defense and wrestling is down here. Therefore, he averages out to be just about a little bit better than average. He could have, I think... If he really wanted to, I think he could have went to a camp and really, maybe this one, really worked on his takedown defense. But he didn't. He elected to continue to work on his striking. And this is what you get. You get a guy that is near the end of his career, that is an elite striker that can't really stop a takedown or get back to his feet. Therefore, I think Carvalho has more ways to win. And I think Carvalho will engage Mousasi in a stand-up game. However... Similar to Till and Wonderboy that you mentioned earlier, I think Carvalho can take this to the ground and finish him if he wants to. So I think Carvalho will defend his belt.
So we already had a discussion about this and how.
But they don't know that.
Yeah,
that was on our podcast.
They don't know that.
So to sum it up,
here's what I'm going to sum up. I'm going to judge Gegard Mousasi based off UFC Gegard,
which makes no sense because his last fight he looked terrible and that was in Bellator.
I'm saying that I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. That's it, all right? It's because I'm a fan, and I have problems sometimes picking against people I like, all right? I can admit this about myself. It's a flaw. Now, I'm going to judge this motherfucker based off UFC. What I saw in UFC was a guy who had got better at takedown defense, who was becoming one of the top echelon guys, and I believed he deserved a title shot in the UFC at middleweight. So I think he can get it done, but if he looks like how he looks... And my benefit of the doubt is wrong, and he looks like how he looked in his first fight in Bellator, he's going to get smashed.
So you're going Mousasi.
I'm going Mousasi
to win the belt.
To give him benefit of the doubt, and then Mousasi's going to get smashed in his title defense.
Okay, so who do you like, Marlon?
I'm kind of back and forth about it. By a small margin, I'll probably say Mousasi by split decision.
Okay.
I can definitely see
Come to
this
the dark
fight.
side.
I mean, it's not really the dark side. It's just Gegard Mousasi. There's nothing really dark about him. He's decent. This is a tough fight for him.
Yeah.
No doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is a tough fight. But I do feel like somehow his takedown defense is going to be strong enough for this bout. And yeah, I'll even agree that, you know, if he ends up becoming champion, his very next fight, his first title defense, he will lose in a crazy fashion.
Well, if he
I
gets
can
a
see
certain
that.
somebody, I'm thinking he definitely will.
The guy that was on our podcast, I think.
Yeah, and then
Perhaps.
the co-main event, Michael Venom Page, David the Caveman Rickles. Rickles always has fucking awesome walkouts, and he always manages to have a good scrap, even though most of the time he's outgunned. I think the same thing will be here. I think Rickles will find a way to keep it interesting. Maybe the walkout will be more interesting. I don't know, but MVP will knock him out, and think he'll probably do it in a pretty impressive way.
Wouldn't even be surprising if he does. I mean, that's exactly what MVP
I think
does.
that's his only way.
Yeah.
So we all are agreeing.
I'm going with MVP because I think he is the future of Bellator MMA. I think he's the
he
future
could
of
be.
that weight division, man. And he needs to fight Paul Daly already.
Yeah, Phil Davis, Linton Vassell. We talked about this a little bit more in detail on the podcast. Basically, Phil Davis is a guy who his wrestling is phenomenal. Linton Vassell, these guys are both actually 205-pound champions in Bellator, light heavyweight champions. So that's something to note too. But Linton Vassell is a guy I think he's more talented. But Phil Davis's wrestling is elite. It is super amazing. He can keep him down there and beat him up for 3 rounds, and I think that's what we'll see. Phil Davis wins easy.
I'm going to go with that too because I honestly feel that Phil Davis is on a straight lane back to Ryan Bader to face him for that title again. And I think he can actually beat him and win it back.
All
So
right.
I'm going to go with Phil Davis, that dark chocolate sexy man he is.
Who do you like, Marlon?
Phil Davis, definitely he's going to take it down to the ground. It's going to be a very easy fight for him, honestly.
So we all like Phil.
Yeah, Phil Davis, yeah.
And then the curtain jerker, Aaron Chalmers against Ashley Griffiths. Chalmers was a member of the Geordie Shore. That is UK's version of the Jersey Shore. So a lot of people rather, don't like Aaron Chalmers. They're rooting for him not to win. I've looked into him a little bit. He's actually a fairly talented guy. So, you know, they have him pretty favorably matched up here against Griffiths. It's an unusual fight, being that it's a 163-pound weight. So that's, I don't know, why not just make it 165? I don't
They're
get it.
making a 165-pound division.
It's unusual. I think Chalmers gets it done. As I said, it's a favorable matchup for him, and he could be a big draw for them. So Bellator, I think they want to see him do well, and I think he'll get it done. I'll go Chalmers.
I think Bellator brought this guy in to be the villain and to lose, for people to want to see him lose.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to want to keep him around. They can't just start throwing him to the wolves now. This is a good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I was going with Griffiths when I first started picking this because I also wanted to see a douchebag from a shore lose. But I get my common sense kind of came around, and yes, slightly Mike Strauss talked me into it.
What do you think?
I'm going to jump on the other side of the fence and say
right.
Griffiths wins.
Beats him up.
Chalmers is going to go in with a giant head, a crazy ego, and eventually fall due to his own mistakes. So Griffiths wins, in my opinion.
All right, so
Just from that.
That's Bellator 200 main card. We're going to do the UFC Liverpool picks in a little bit. But first, guys, so, you know, obviously, Yair Rodriguez, he got released from the UFC, right? You heard that.
It's here.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, too. He was just on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, and he got to explain his point of view. Did you guys have a chance to hear that?
No.
I watched it, and we talked about it, and we basically summed it up to Yair thought he had a bigger dick than Dana,
Yeah.
and found out that Dana can send you back to Mexico.
Well, basically what Yair was saying on the MMA Hour was that he said, yeah, I did accept the Lamas fight. I did accept the Zabit fight. But what he was saying was it sounded like Yair was saying, yeah, I accepted the Lamas fight, but I wanted it to be in L.A. Or I accepted the Zabit fight, but I wanted it to be in Russia. Or I accepted this fight, but I wanted to have more money. So, you know, it sounds like... So I think in his mind what he was trying to do was say, hey, guys, I was accepting these fights. But I think, anyway, to me, the way it came off was I was accepting these fights, but with a caveat. I wanted this fight, But if I'm doing this, I want more money. Or if I'm going to fight Zabit, I want to fight him here. And you don't get into a bigger dick contest with Dana White.
You'll lose.
Because Dana White will beat you every time. And I think that's what happened.
Quick question. Is Yair still training with Izzy?
I think he still has a relationship, yes.
So I'm going to be 100% honest. A guy who I didn't know Izzy personally. I trained at his gym. I know a lot of people who know him personally. I can tell you this. I've heard rumblings of Izzy and how he is like and how he has an effect on guys. I wonder if that played a role because
what do you mean?
Izzy is known to pump guys up and give them a little bit bigger of a head, make them believe that they're better than they are.
Isn't that what a coach is supposed to do?
Yes, but Izzy... There's a lot of stories about that guy.
Does he go the extra mile?
No, there's just I've heard stories of him being a bad influence on fighters and wrestlers.
Okay.
Listen, this is from people I know personally who have told me stories of this man. He is one of the best wrestling coaches out there, but there's a reason he wasn't one of the best wrestlers out there, and it wasn't due to talent. He was probably one of the talented best wrestlers in the country at one point, and because of his own doing, he didn't make it to the big time. So I'm going to say there could be a correlation between who he's spending his time with. You remember John Jones partied with Izzy a couple times. I'm going to say Izzy is a little bit responsible for John Jones as well.
All right, look at that. Paulo throwing some shade.
I don't know. John Jones is responsible.
Also, Team Overtime all the way until Lean Kep. Izzy style sucks.
Another thing I wanted to comment out real quick, guys, was the UFC 225 card rather is so fucking stacked. We know we're all excited because it's here in Chicago.
Are you guys going?
Of course, yeah. I can't wait.
I'm gonna be partying.
Here's the thing,
watching
though.
it.
I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this because they announced that the Alistair Overeem Curtis Blades fight was now not going to be on the pay-per-view card. Rather, it was going to headline the prelim portion. And of course, I know the arguments are 5 times more people see the prelims, and that's true. And, unless you're a fighter that gets a certain pay-per-view revenue in your contract, you don't really care about pay-per-view sales. That's just fact. But you'd be lying. If you didn't believe that there was a certain amount of prestige that goes with being a pay-per-view fighter. If you're on the main card, that means more, okay? This is my problem with it. Why do you move the Overeem and Blades fight to the prelims and keep the Taje Tuivasa and Andrei Arlovsky fight on the main card?
I said it before. I'll say it again. It's names. CM Punk is on the pay-per-view.
I understand why CM Punk is on the pay-per-view portion. I understand that. That makes complete sense to me. What doesn't make sense is that you have Alistair Overeem and Curtis Blades on the prelim when they could clearly sell more tickets than Arlovsky and Taje Tuivasa.
That could be a main event, technically.
100% of people, you go out to Chicago right now, you walk the streets and you ask them who Taje Tuivasa is. 100% of them will say, I do not know.
Who's the A and B side, though, name-wise, on each card? I think it's Alistair Overeem is the seller of the Blades fight because it's Blades stepping up in competition.
Alistair Overeem and Curtis Blades, as a whole, pack more punch than Tuivasa and Arlovsky.
But Andrei Arlovsky is a bigger name than both of them.
I do not think that's true.
I do think that's true.
I do not think that's true.
Because I knew when I first started MMA.
Andrei Arlovsky's been around. I
I
don't even know if
he's been around
longer.
in North America, the mainstream, the place where people buy pay-per-view. He's been around in North America more than Alistair Overeem.
I don't know
Alistair
if that's
Overeem,
true.
But Alistair Overeem has always been a bigger name regardless.
In
Even
the
if
world,
you didn't really know what
in the
MMA
world.
was, you've heard once or twice Alistair Overeem. And you've looked him up on YouTube.
I would say that
oh my
more
God,
with Andro.
who's this massive freaking truck?
Because in my
kicking
opinion,
people down.
Alistair Overeem's coming out party was his fight against Brock Lesnar. I knew who Andre was before
not
that.
for me.
I'm talking about the casual fan. I'm talking
I
about
don't think
people
so.
on the street who aren't balls
He was
deep,
getting $1 million viewerships in Strikeforce.
getting
man,
$1 million viewerships and getting the common fan are different
Dude,
things.
do you understand what I'm saying? 1 million people were watching his fight in Strikeforce. 1 million people. Do you know what that means? The UFC doesn't even sell 1 million. They're lucky if they do 200,000 pay-per-views. So obviously people knew who the fuck he was if 1 million people were watching
I think
his
people
fights.
know who he is, but I think in name recognition to me, Andrei Arlovsky is a bigger name to the common fan, and that's probably why they did it. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fucking right. I think Curtis Blades and Alistair Overeem is a way better fight, a way bigger fight to me. It has more implications towards the title, has more, it lets us know how the heavyweight division is going to shape up for the next 2 to 3 years. But maybe on their end, that's one of the guys who are making these decisions is sitting there going, Andre is a bigger name to me. So they put him in there.
So,
and also, what if they want people to watch the prelims? If I want people to watch the prelims, I'm going to put a big ass fight at the headline of that.
Alistair Overeem.
Remember when TJ Dillashaw was the head fight on the prelims of UFC 200?
But
it seems like the same.
Dillashaw wasn't TJ Dillashaw at that point. So
he just lost the title. I think he was. It was right after UFC 200. It was right after he lost the title to Dominic Cruz.
I don't know about that right now. So listen, Overeem fought Vitor Belfort. Strikeforce wasn't in.
And he was I consider myself a casual.
And he was fighting in Pride for 4 or 5 years before that. So I don't know. It is what it is. I think that we're just splitting hairs there. I personally don't think Arlovsky has more of a drawing name. I don't understand why they did
I definitely think Overeem has a bigger name, but at the same time, with this whole situation, you kind of have to look at both sides. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really sucks because we want to see this on the pay-per-view card, but at the same time, it's really good for, for the casual fan who doesn't really know who Curtis Blades is. This could be a wonderful time for him to shine and go against somebody with a big name like Overeem and, really show his stuff, especially in his hometown. So,
but because I know who Curtis Blades is and because I've spoken with him a few times, I know that he's going to take this personal. And
I think he released a statement about it.
And this isn't good because let's just say Curtis isn't, and this is a live stream, I don't give a fuck. Let's just say Curtis can be gotten to. We'll just say that. So I don't think this was a good move for the UFC. Not for if you care about this kid and you want this kid to succeed. This is a dumb fucking move.
So Curtis Blades did just release a statement on Facebook.
I didn't even know that.
Where he was talking about it. And that's why I don't...
What did it say?
I'll pull it up right now. Curtis Blades. Luckily, I'm friends with him on Facebook. Yeah, It's weird. I would think he would have not a real Facebook, but he does. So he talked about it. Also, he's throwing a party, guys. After party. Who wants to go? PSA, no idea why, nor do I really care about my card placement. Before I start getting bombarded with questions about the situation, my payout remains the same, which is all that matters, to be honest. I think he's in a good mental space, and because he's around guys like Neil Magny.
I don't think he's in a good mental space because he commented on it, so he lost.
I think he had to, though.
No, he didn't.
I think he had to make a statement.
He should have just... If it didn't bother him, Marlon, let me ask you a question. When something truly doesn't bother you, how much time do you pay it?
I pay no mind. But you also have to take account.
Hold on. If something truly didn't bother you, would you write a post about something? If it didn't bother you, didn't put one thought into it, would you write a post?
If it came in regards to how many times people are going to be, I'd say, pretty much nagging me about the entire situation and asking a trillion questions, you kind of want to go ahead and answer that. So
I don't know.
I think to address it, I don't think the problem is the placement. I think the problem would be the questions and the bothering of him outside of the cage, and he's not mentally prepared because now he has a bunch of people asking him the same damn question. So now he can go into. He already addressed it. He goes, it's done with, and then he moves on.
So let's quickly give our picks here for UFC Liverpool. Wonderboy Thompson, Darren Till. I like Darren Till. I think they're very similar in the way that they strike, right? They like to strike and then get out, right? They go in and out. They move very well. I just think Till is younger. I think Till is stronger. I think he is super talented. He's got a killer mindset. We didn't even think that Wonderboy was going to get this fight. We didn't think his health was right, and then all of a sudden it came to be. I think Darren Till's the real deal. This kid is special. I think he's going to wake up more people that he did when he knocked out Cerrone. I think everybody else is going to realize this kid's the deal. You
know who's really going to know who he is? Brendan Schaub, damn it. because Brendan Schaub. If you don't know the situation, Brendan Schaub disrespected him right before the Cerrone fight.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, who the fuck is Darren Till? And then Darren Till knocked Donald Cerrone the fuck out, and then immediately started tweeting at fucking Brendan Schaub, and Brendan Schaub's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I now know who you are." So
I've been on Darren Till's jock for 2.5 years.
oh yeah, you've been talking about him since I met you. So I'm gonna say this: if you want to hear what fucking real like who's the next up and comer, stop fucking listening to Brendan Schaub. Listen to this motherfucker right here, because he tells us every time.
So basically, just do the exact opposite of what Brendan Schaub said.
Yeah. All right.
That's all you got.
I love Brendan Schaub, but I also like talking shit. So
who do you like in the Till fight?
Till
or Thompson?
I'm gonna go with Till, only because of his ground game. He dictates where the fight goes. Everybody forgets this. Everybody wants to look at him and go, "Oh, he's a striker."
He spent time in Brazil.
He had to live there for a long period of time because he got stabbed in Liverpool, and they're like, "Yo, you want to do something with your life? Get the fuck out of here." So,
do you know what's crazy though? He got stabbed in the city of Liverpool, but he got stabbed in his liver while he was in a pool. Talk about fucking ironic.
I want to know if that's true.
Honestly, I'm going with Thompson. I feel like, he can go in the ring with two limbs and still be one of the toughest fights he'll ever have.
As long as those two limbs are his feet.
Yeah, honestly, if he's on us and he got stuff,
He's only got his hands.
Do we forget that Darren Till has a fucking ground game? This is the problem.
true.
Everybody
This
I've
is true.
talked to about this, besides Mike, have been like, well, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I'm like, no, it's different. He has a ground game.
I'm
and
only
it's
going for Wonderboy because I'm such a huge fan of his.
All right, then admit that. Don't sit there. And try to act
Other
like,
than that,
don't talk about two limbs.
Other than that,
Don't
As
sit
long
here
as
talking
they're his
about,
feet.
yeah, don't sit there talking shit. Just because
I'm allowed to talk shit.
you're on his dick, and that's
So-
fine. Just admit it.
Here's a guy that we were talking about a little bit ago, Neil Magny, in the co-main event against a new promotional newcomer, Craig White. Now, this was supposed to be Gunnar Nelson's party. Gunnar Nelson gets hurt. I talked to Tony Martin a couple weeks out after his performance against Nakamura when he made his debut at 170. Tony Martin said, hey, I want to take short notice fights. I reached out to the UFC, to Mick Maynard, when Gunnar Nelson got hurt. I wanted this fight. UFC didn't want it. Instead, they book this promotional newcomer, Craig White. I like Neil Magny here. I just don't see how this kid's like, what, 14-7, 15-7? Hey, I'm sure this kid could whoop my ass. I'm not saying that. I just don't understand why the UFC wouldn't want to have more of a guy with a name here. They could have. I feel like they missed a chance. I think Magny gets this done.
I think he gets it done easily, but I was just thinking about this. Do you think that the UFC wants to build up Neil Magny in any kind of way?
No.
No?
No, I don't think.
really don't.
I really don't think they can.
But do you think they want to?
No, why would they?
I don't
They
know.
have no incentive.
There's nothing there.
They get weird. I don't know. Maybe they think he could become a fan favorite. I don't know. Because it makes no sense.
He looks like a skinny crackhead.
At best, he can become a gatekeeper. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I'm
nothing
just saying,
special.
for them not to go with a tougher opponent, a more experienced guy, makes no sense. Pulling the whole he's from the UK thing for White still doesn't make any sense. I think Neil Magny wins. It seems like a feeder fight to him.
He's gonna whoop his ass.
Well, and that's why I asked that. Would there be a reason that the UFC would want to build him? Because it seems like a feeder fight. This seems like a fight for a guy that I'm trying to build.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. I mean, maybe they just wanted to put on a display. How about
Or White is the real deal and we don't know it yet.
could be? How about Arnold Allen against Mads Burnell at 145? I like Mads Burnell. He's a very talented kid and he's got a ton of power. But this Arnold Allen, I do feel like, I don't want to say Michael Bisping, but I feel like this kid could be like the next generation. Like I said, not Bisping, but maybe like that new guy that the UK could get behind. Very talented, very fun fighter. Only difference is he's not a big guy like Bisping was. This kid walks around at probably no bigger than 170, fights at 145. But Mads Burnell is a very tough guy. Look for a fun fight here. Arnold Allen, I think, will win, though. What do you guys think?
What? Oh, shit.
I have no dog in this fight, really. I'm not too familiar with either of these guys. I'll probably pick Burnell.
I'm going with Allen.
I'm going
Allen. I picked Arnold Allen. I'm sticking with Arnold Allen.
And then Makwan Americani against the gentleman we've had on the show before, Jason the Kid Knight. Love Jason Knight. Very talented. Feel like he's really starting to find his groove. Having said that, Americani is no joke. The dude is so dominant. I think he's bigger than White. I think he's stronger than Knight. but I think Knight will find a way to get it done. I kind of think this will be like a one of those fights where, in a lot of his fights, Jason Knight is getting his ass whooped, and then he finds a way to fucking land like a fight-changing punch or something, and then he capitalizes on it and either finishes with strikes or locks up a submission because of that strike. I feel like this is going to be in the same mold of that fight. I feel like Americani can kind of beat his ass for a little while, but then somehow Knight's going to find a way to change momentum and then steal the fight. So I'm going to go Jason Knight here, and I hope to have him back on the show, win or lose, after the fight.
This kid is from Mississippi. Mississippi has nothing to do but fight. They have nothing to do but, basically fight.
He's a big hunter.
And hunt. That's really all they
eat.
Fight and eat. That's really all they can do in Mississippi. I got family there.
They like to fuck, too.
They like to fuck, too. So
Usually
fuck, fighting, and eating. That's basically what they do in Mississippi.
They do that, just all the same thing.
Yeah. I think, though, Jason the Kid Knight, man, I think he is going to put it all together, and this is a great test to see where he's truly at.
Super tough test.
It's a tough test, but I think
this could be fight of the night easy.
He might get what Daniel Cormier calls the rub from a fight like this. Win or lose, I think it's going to benefit him. But I think he's going to win.
What do you think, Marlon?
Americani wins. Round 2, pounds him through the pavement.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go past 2.
You know what? Fuck you,
it could go like that easy. I could see that. How about Manny Bermudez? He's undefeated, putting that undefeated streak against Davy Grant. The bantamweight division is the gift that just keeps on giving. I mean, there's no way this fight is going to be bad. Bermudez is just a fucking ball of energy, just like all the bantamweights. Don't know too much about Davy Grant. I'll be totally straight up with you guys. I don't know. Bermudez, though, I've seen a few of his fights. The kid's super impressive. I don't think he's quite ready yet to have the division's elite, but maybe 3 more fights in the UFC, and the kid will be ready. I think he stays unbeaten. I think he beats Davy Grant. I'm going to go Bermudez.
Bermudez wins. I think he keeps his unbeaten streak alive, and I think about Davy Grant. I've seen Bermudez. I think Bermudez is tough, but Grant can come out here and shock the daylights out of me.
Bermudez is the guy that you said had a real nice ass.
I did not say that. Why do you be putting gay shit on goddamn?
That's what you said.
Nothing against gay people.
It's okay to say gay things, man. It's perfectly fine.
Listen, apparently now I think Bermudez has an amazing ass.
I didn't say amazing. You did. You said he had a good one.
God.
Anyway, what do you think?
I mean,
not about his ass, but
I really want to take
honestly
like the outtakes.
The easiest bet would be Bermudez. I have seen one of Grant's fights. I'm trying to remember who he was fighting against. He didn't impress me in that fight. That's what I remember.
Doesn't need to
Just why I sort of
Marlon.
Yes, he does. In order for me to choose him, I need to be impressed. If I'm not being impressed by your performance,
doesn't need your impression.
Unfortunately,
did he win? That's all that matters.
It wasn't a great win. That's what I remember. But definitely, I'm gonna have to go with Bermudez in this one, just because I don't think it can go wrong for him at all. This is a really good fight. I'm pretty sure he's gonna come out looking pretty damn good.
Bermudez, I don't think has been in a boring fight. So
no, it's in all the 135ers. And then the curtain jerker for UFC Liverpool, Eric Spicely going against Darren Stewart. If you remember the last time the UFC was in the UK just a few months ago, Darren Stewart was the guy that got on the mic and said, "I want Darren Till."
And instead he got McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's like, I really want a steak. We're going to Mickey D's. Enjoy.
It tells you what your employer thinks of you, right? You call out a guy, that guy gets the main event, you get the curtain jerker.
I want to go to Toys R Us, dollar store.
That's exactly it.
I swear to God, I feel. By the way, no means are we saying Spicely is not a good fighter.
No, Spicely is 100% capable of beating Darren Stewart in this fight.
But for name recognition wise, if I'm trying to go up the ranks, I'm like, yeah, I want the best of the best. And I want the highest name, and then all of a sudden it's like, nah, fuck you. Pour some out for Stewart right now. Who's he gonna call out next? I want George St. Pierre. Then he gets Till.
I like Darren Stewart in this fight, but it wouldn't surprise me if Spicely knocked him out because Spicely's one of those guys that you look at and you're like, this dude's not a fighter, he's not an athlete, but fuck.
And yet he's in the UFC ring.
Exactly. It's weird. He could win. I just think Darren Stewart will. This is too big of a fight for him to lose, I think.
I think he's gonna win, but Stewart, listen, I'm gonna help you out here. Call out the toughest guy in the world, and then you'll get Till. So call out Tyron Woodley, and they'll go, All right, well, you get Till. That's what Kobe Covington did.
Do you think that do you think that Stewart wins?
I think Stewart wins, yeah. And then he's going to call out somebody, and he needs to call out the toughest guy in the world. Be like, I want Tyron Woodley and George St. Pierre at the same time. And then they'll give him a normal fight.
And then who do you like?
There's no argument here, really. I'm just going to stick with Stewart. The safest bet, definitely.
It definitely is.
I would say by unanimous decision. Unanimous? Yeah.
I'm shocked that you call these. Like, I don't call these anymore.
I like calling these. I really like them. I mean,
I tried, and
I like picking them. It's just so hard to call what round. And
you know
by
what?
I like to imagine the fights in my head.
I like to too, but I'm gonna call this one Magny by decision.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe bet.
That's a very safe bet.
All right,
Neil Magny. We had this conversation. I actually wanted your opinion on this. So I think Neil Magny, technique wise, knowing the sport wise, is a good fighter, but he just doesn't have anything extra special about him that gets him over the hump.
Neither does Kelvin Gastelum.
But Calvin Gastelum does. He's something. I think his demeanor is special. But Neil Magny, he doesn't have incredible power, doesn't have incredible speed, doesn't have incredible jiu-jitsu. He's just good.
Or good enough.
He's just good enough. Where so like technique wise, I think he's good. But when it comes to just, I think to be a top fighter, you need that something special. To be like a Tyron Woodley has just incredible power.
Maybe that's why he's been given the fights that he's been given so far.
Yeah, Magny is
just
not,
because he hasn't shown that special side of him that yet.
I don't think he has it. I don't think he has that.
I think he does. It's just it hasn't come out yet.
Okay. I hope you're right. I like him. I like him personally. I think he's a great coach too. You've seen what he's done with Curtis Blades.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach.
But I don't know if he has that little spice.
I say give him one more year.
One more year?
Give him another year. By this time next year, it'll be a different story.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he's still going to be unseasoned chicken.
I don't think Magny. I don't think fighting is what Magny truly wants to do. I believe that he is content and happy being a coach.
I think he's a great coach. I think
he's a great coach.
And
there's nothing wrong with that. Magny is not a top contender. He never has been, and he never will be. His body.
But if he does, he will definitely show it within the year.
Yeah.
If
he's going to do it, it's going to be. It's got to be.
It has to be.
We can't admit though, since he started coaching a lot more, he has gotten better.
Without a doubt. I can admit
coaching generally makes you better.
So I think if we do see something from him, it will be within this year. And if we don't, we don't. And I'm fine with that. There's guys out there who are just really good fighters that like to fight, and I think he might fall into that category. Okay. Like a Joe Lozon.
So what are we talking about real quick before we wrap it up, guys? Give me one thing that everybody's talking about Monday morning from either card. What is it going to be?
Till submits Thompson.
Wow, that would be crazy, huh?
I think Till will. I'm
submitting Thompson. That would be crazy.
I think that's what's going to happen.
I'm going to say everybody finally wakes up and really realizes how good Rafael Carvalho is when he disposes of Gegard Mousasi and defends his 185-pound title. I think people are going to be like, wow, we have generally underestimated Carvalho for a long time, and this dude is good. How good is he? I think that is the question that will be asked Monday morning.
I feel like the conversation is going to be, is Wonder Boy the only person who is ever going to be able to sit in the number one spot just to go against Woodley? I feel like that's going to be the only thing, and it's going to be very annoying for about a good few weeks. Tyron's going to say something, and then we're going to continue on like nothing has ever happened, and then Till's going to kind of fall off the radar for a bit, and then come back with a huge fight that's going to surprise the crap out of everybody. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes into a Thompson-Till 2, but I still see Thompson winning this one. Even a hurt, like what did he say, that he like injured his thumbs or something like that?
Yeah.
Wait, like, so are you saying that Thompson Woodley is going to be like the DC Jones type thing?
Kind of.
So you're saying
at this point it already feels like it is.
I can't say that. I think that RDA could be Thompson.
Hold on. So you're saying that Monday people are going to be talking about, wow, since Thompson won, should he get Woodley again, or is it he's had his chances, he just has to stay there?
That's going to be the entire conversation.
Thompson
it's like,
talk.
man, he should get another chance.
Okay.
It's like, no.
So-
He's already had his chances. He already had two times.
So
I
this
like
is
it.
gonna,
So we all three.
First
said
fight
different
was
things.
okay. The second fight was pretty boring. No,
So
we're
this
not
is
going to see that again.
So this is gonna be a DC type Jones type situation. You're thinking?
yeah.
It's gonna be fun because either they're gonna let's see. I think they're gonna be talking about Rafael Carvalho. You think they're gonna be talking about Thompson, and you think they're gonna be talking about Till. So we'll have
I
to
also
find
think
out.
MVP will somehow end up on the radar too with some crazy.
Well, I said pick one thing, and you pick two because you're an asshole.
You know what? Yeah, that's
More
true,
is
I
not
am.
always better.
Yo,
Apollo.
oh my God! Well, I don't know. Would
Time
be
to-
shocking. MVP goes back home on a stretcher.
Yeah, that would be shocking.
that
if
would be
David the
shocking.
Caveman Rickles.
Oh,